We have some major updates of mixed martial arts, starting with the news. Alex Pereira hints at big news coming this week. On his Insta handle, Alex shared this story, hinting at some exciting news coming soon. There's a good possibility that a fight between him and Ankalaev as the main event for UFC 313. By the way, let's see what gets finalized between him and the organization. Islam has set a condition for Ilia Topuria before agreeing to fight. During a recent talk with streamer Aiden Ross, Islam requested fans to think about whether fighting Topuria makes sense right now. Islam says there's no belt on the line, and it doesn't really benefit him. From his words, it seemed like Islam was saying that he has already fought fighters from smaller divisions before. But if Dana White and the fans want this fight, he's ready. Islam also reveals that he wants to clear his current division first, and then he'll consider taking this fight. Sounds like Jamahal Hill saying that after the Alex fight, people kind of forgot about how strong he really is. Right now, he's lined up to fight Iri Prochaska at UFC 311, and during this time he was talking on YouTube and shared that fans seem to have overlooked his power, but in the next fight he's gonna shock everyone and remind them what he's all about.
Y'all got me up. For real. Y'all look, you know what I mean? I can say, well, it's fight week. We gonna get in there, we gonna lock in, we gonna do our thing. But y'all must have forgot. Y'all must have really, really forgot. But
I don't think they forgot. They got
oh no,
you.
they forgot.
They got you.
Oh no,
they got you in favor to win right now.
You know what I'm saying?
So.
You know what I'm saying? I don't even pay attention to no odds, bro. I don't pay attention to no odds. But what I do know is y'all must have forgot. It's gonna be fun getting back out there, mixing it up, and reminding everybody who the I am. Everything's feeling great. Everything's feeling locked in. I'm ready to go, man. I have no idea how bad I am. I'm ready to go. I can't wait to get in there. I can't wait for Saturday.
Justin Gaethje planning a return for UFC 313. Justin is nearing his Octagon comeback almost a year after losing the BMF title to Max Holloway. After that, Gaethje decided to take a long break from both training and fighting. But now, with the new year rolling in, he's eyeing a return at UFC 313, likely at T-Mobile Arena in Vegas. During a recent YouTube video, Justin says that he doesn't have a confirmed opponent right now, but there's a good chance it could be Dan Hooker.
Yeah, I mean, so there's no official fight signed, but I told the UFC maybe 2-3 months ago that March was, the day I was looking for. I know there's a fight March 8th in Las Vegas, so that's the one I told them I wanted to be on. I think they're figuring out fights right now, but I'm, certainly mentally preparing, physically preparing to fight on that date. So that puts us 8.5 weeks out, which means it's really going to be here, in the blink of an eye. When it comes down to things, time flies, when you're getting ready for these things. The anticipation does kill you, so I mean, that's going to be the hardest part. But coming off a knockout, I'm really excited to get back to training. It's when you take a loss like that and you're as competitive as we are, then it lights a fire under your ass, and we're getting back to work. So last 2-3 weeks, I like 12-week camps, 8.5 weeks. I've really been training for probably 3 months. I've been sparring for maybe 8 weeks now, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, probably. So we're back to it, back to the swing of things, and back getting ready for a specific day, a specific opponent. I think it's gonna be Dan Hooker, but with the UFC, things can always change. But that's what I'm preparing for, again, mentally, physically, for that fight, March 8th. So back to work, feeling good, ready to go.
Belal Mohammad is angry at Sean Strickland and said he's willing to gain weight and move to a higher division just to fight him. During a recent interview with Submission Radio, Belal said he hopes Strickland gets knocked out badly. Plus, he'd fight Strickland no matter what, whether Strickland is the champion or not. Belal and Strickland have been going back and forth for a while now. Strickland has taken plenty of shots at Belal, and Belal has clapped back with some savage replies. And now, recently again, Belal went off on him. Check this.
No, I mean, it's personal. The guy's just an airhead. He's literally the definition of trailer trash. That's what he is. So when he says all this dumb stuff, people need to make him pay for it. Like there's just so many people nowadays, like I said, the Twitter people that are just happy to see it, right? And he knows it because he can't get attention other than saying dumb things. So he has to say stupid, wild stuff because nobody cares about him without it. It's kind of like a Kobe Covington. Nobody cared about him before he started saying dumb stuff. So Strickland's trying to level it up even more so he could just have that wow factor, because his fights suck. He always talks about, I'm going to kill this guy, or we're going to go to war, and it's literally just a teep fest. So I think that he knows that he sucks, so that's why he goes out there and he says this dumb stuff.
Robert Whittaker predicts how the Islam versus Arman fight will go.
You know, and I understand how good Arman Sarukian is. And but I just feel like if we look at Islam's last fight with Dustin, and we look at Arman's last fight with Charles, I just feel like there's a gap. I feel like there's a skill gap. You know, and everyone's saying like how well Arman went in his debut, short notice, et cetera. But you look at the names, you look at the level of fights, you look at the stage that Islam's fights were set on. I don't know. I just see Islam's in a really good place right now. I find it very hard to see him getting defeated.
Joe Rogan reveals what he thinks is the second hardest job in combat sports after being a fighter. On his podcast, Rogan discussed the critical role of a referee in keeping the fighters alive. Rogan believes that after being a fighter, refereeing is the toughest job in combat sports.
It's because a referee's job is to make sure that they stay alive.
Yes, protect the fighter.
Because a fighter wouldn't make the right choice, you're saying?
Right. That's why a referee has to protect the fighter from a cut. Like if the cut's too bad, the referee has to call it or bring in a doctor to call it. There's some times where the referee, it's a judgment call, and sometimes they get it wrong because they're human. But it's a crazy job. They have the hardest job in the world. So the guys like Herb Dean, the guys like Mark Goddard, those guys need more praise because it's one of the most difficult jobs in all of combat sports, other than being a fighter. The second most difficult, for sure, is being a referee.
Wow. Because
you got to make these calls. You're like in the middle of chaos in a world title fight where millions of people are watching.
Oh.
And you got to keep this thing together in this very chaotic sport.
Dana White reveals the incident that made him start Power Slapping. As most of you know, Dana White owns another company called Power Slap, but unlike his success in MMA, this venture hasn't been well received by most MMA fans, who have criticized it repeatedly. However, Dana reveals that there was one incident that led him to start Power Slap. One day, while casually scrolling through YouTube, he came across a video of Russian slappers that had millions of views, though the quality was poor. Dana thought, unlike the rough, unpolished nature of that video, if done professionally, this could actually turn into something huge.
9.6 billion views in less than 2 years, 22 months. Power Slap was literally built on social media and on the internet. And when you think about it, it hasn't even been 2 full years yet, right? And we have over 20 million followers on Power Slap, right? I saw this stuff on like in 2018, it was coming out of Poland and Russia, and I was like, this is crazy. But what was fascinating about it is I wanted to see who would win the fight, so I watched this thing play out. So I took a deeper dive into it and started looking at it, and they look like they filmed it on a flip phone. Production was terrible. They're literally slapping over a barrel, and it had 450 million views on YouTube. I said, what would happen if I did this, turned it into a real sport and did it the right way? The answer is 10 billion views. That's the answer.
And that's all for today's update. Hit the subscribe button and make sure to press the notification bell so you stay updated on what's going on in the MMA world. And most importantly, please take care of your health.